Hello, listeners. You're welcome to today's program, Voices of Widows, where we shall be looking at the topic widowhood. My name is Bolanle Olanrewaju, your host on the program today. I am a member of Advocacy for Widows Empowerment Foundation, an NGO based here in Lagos State, Nigeria. What is widowhood? Some of the consequences of widowhood. Some factors that contribute to the outcome of widowhood. Also, we would examine both formal and informal ways of widowhood interventions. One of the most common stressful events in life is widowhood, which has significant social and psychological implications. It's also one of the most deeply distressing life events experienced by adults. Widowhood is the marital status that a man or woman gains once his or her spouse has died. A widow is a woman whose spouse has died, and a widower is a man whose spouse has died. The age at which people become widowed may influence the ways in which they respond to widowhood and the ways in which society responds to them. Younger widows often face additional challenges, caring for the children and having to manage their own grief alongside that of their children. Younger widows may be more interested in reparenting than older widows. And yet, this may be more difficult if there are children around. Let's take a musical interlude. I will be right back. Welcome back to our program. You are still on to Voices of Widows. We experience lower morale and mood following the loss of our spouses. There may be greater financial strain as one parent becomes both caregiver and breadwinner to the children. Their sleeping and eating habits are disrupted. Health maintenance behaviors may also be affected. Most often than not, wives often monitor their husband's diets and medication. The loss of a spouse may hurt a husband's ability to keep up with these important health behaviors. Social circumstances also may change. Older widowed women often are being shunned by their married friends, so they turn to other widowed women for companionship. Younger widows caring for children feel particularly isolated as they are unable to socialize as often as they wish. Once a partner has died, society views such person as a person alone, in quotes. Yet, the widowed person still sees herself or himself as a wife or a husband and as maintaining a bond with the deceased. Widowed men bottle up their feelings. They fare worse as widowers than women. This is in most cases because of men's poor domestic and social skills.
I feel so.
Oh no,
Under my protector.
always here by your side.
Oh, I should have been prepared.
Everything will be alright.
Death is thought to have some bearing on adaptation. Those people who are widowed as a consequence of violent or traumatic causes have a poorer outcome to widowhood. Among younger spouses, death is an unlikely event and thus makes it more difficult to adjust to. For many widows, having the opportunity to say goodbye is important, but in many cases, is simply not possible. Those people who feel responsible, whether with justification or not, for their spouse's death, may find adaptation more difficult. And for those who had an ambivalent relationship with the deceased, may also find adaptation more problematic. And for those who keep to themselves, especially in the context of emotional expression, are also less able to cope well. Younger widowed men and women face additional challenges in adapting to widowhood because they face a double burden of isolation. Among men, those who have had previous experience with domestic responsibilities, for example, cooking, looking after children, or a sick spouse, appear to be better equipped at adapting to widower status.
Don't lose faith. Help is on the way.
Welcome back to our program. You are still on to Voices of Widows. We experience lower morale and mood following the loss of our spouses. Let us examine few points under the formal and informal intervention for widowhood. Number 1, support centers should be designed for widows to help bereaved persons through the process of normal grieving by counseling. 2, welfare and health services should provide counseling designed to assist in complicated grief. Number 3, family and friends should provide social support for the widow. 4, private sectors should be committed to self-help in providing support for the widows. And number 5, widow-to-widow program provides more mutual help whereby widows help other widows adjust to life as a widow. And finally, the key to effectively coping with widowhood may be to ensure a good fit between the needs of the widowed person and the support offered. Difficulties may arise when this fit is poor. Not only may under-provision be problematic, but over-provision may be inappropriate as well. I hope you have enjoyed today's program on Voices of Widows, a production of Entertainment Consults Limited. My producer is Mr. Willie Walkman Oga. Stay tuned for our subsequent broadcasts. For partnership and counseling, please call +234 81 82 78 6623 or +234 80 55 057 064. I still remain yours, Bolanle Olanrewaju. Bye for now.
You are not alone.
Oh yes, I feel so.
Oh no,
Under by my protector.
always here by your side.
Oh, I should have been prepared.
Everything will be alright.
Life has brought me this.
You're not empty.
So much pain and